What's going on, everybody? It's Colton Ingram. We're going to be going over 5mm arrows, and specifically 4 of them. I believe 3 of them are very, very popular. One of them I think everyone should know about. I don't really know if a whole lot of people know who this company is, but for the most part, I think 5mm arrows are probably one of the most popular diameter shafts on the market whenever it comes to bow hunters in general, and even 3D target shooters. I've used 3 of these, and I really like, and I'm actually going to be using one this year. I might be using 2 depending on how they do. We'll start with probably one of the most popular arrows, the Victory HLR. So the Victory HLR, it's Victory's new arrow. They've ran another arrow that's going to be shown on here, but a rip TKO. This one kind of replaced it. It used a 1.5 or 1.5 carbon weave. So if you look at the shaft, you can see that it's a woven shaft. So basically, it's just crisscrossed in there. So rather than the carbon being straight through and rolled, very similar to like an Easton gold tip style, this one's going to be a woven carbon, and almost every single one of Victory's arrows, unless there's stainless steel or aluminum, sorry, not stainless steel, aluminum, or like a Rip XV, they are going to have a carbon weave. I really like the carbon weave. I think it's a very tough setup for an arrow. I did shoot these and really thought about using them, but I kind of had some bad luck with them. They did come out with a new insert. It's a 50 grain stainless steel, but we'll go over the specs. So what you get with in the package, if you just order shafts, so a dozen shafts, you're going to get an AE IP5 knock, which is pretty standard. Very good knock. I use them pretty much all the time and proprietarily on every arrow that I use. I was running them with the new Atlas, Boning Atlas vein. They're not going to come with this. And then their new, like I said, 50 grain stainless steel half out. They're very, 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 very consistent. I was impressed how consistent they were, and they shot really well. They come in a variety, a lot of different spines, but I believe the 3 main are 250, 300, and 350. So when you're looking at this, you're going to, at a 250 spine, you're going to be at 8.7 grains per inch. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you take an inch of this carbon and weigh it, it's going to weigh 8.7 grains per every inch of this arrow. At 300 spine, which I believe most people use, is 8.1, so very, very light. And at 350 spine, you're looking at 7.3 grains per inch. And it's a very, very light arrow. Whenever you compare them to a lot of the other arrows on the market, it is probably one of the, or I can't say it is the lightest, but it's one of the lightest shafts on the market for a 5mm. So if you want speed, this is the shaft to go with. If you want weight, probably not. But this, they all weighed out very well. But that's the Victory HLR. I'll go over, I did a deal with certain weights, different things like that. I'll go over that after I get done explaining them. Next, we're going to have the Easton 5.0. This is the shaft I will most likely be using for antelope and deer. It comes, this is the match grade version. So the match grade comes with the hit insert. So it's, what a hit is it's a hidden insert technology. So your insert is actually down in the shaft further than, you know, like how this Victory is, where it's sticking out. This one's going to go inside, and then they put a collar on it that just protects the end of the shaft. That's basically about 35 grains once you put the 16 grain hit, and then like a 15 or 19 grain collar. With that, if you don't get the match grade, there's also an option for a 50 grain stainless half out. So it's going to be very similar to the Victory, where it just sticks out instead of it being flush. I really like this system. I wasn't too sure about it, but also, if you do get it, if you've ordered Easton's before and used a hit, they do not send epoxy anymore. So just an FYI on that. They come with their new micro light knock. It's a little bit lighter than an AAE IP5 knock, but I didn't run them. I don't have anything against them. Just I had AAE IPs, and I know that my center serving is made for that, so that's why I'm running the AAEs also. This one has proven to be very, very, very durable for me. I'm running a 300 spine, but like I said, everything that I've used this for, it has been very, very well kept. I haven't broke very many of them. I have broke quite a few HLRs. With the Easton, once again, 250, 300, and 350 spines. Of course, there's 340. At a 250, you're looking at 9.5 grains per inch. At a 300, 8.4 grains per inch. And at a 350, 7.5 grains per inch. So with this, you are going to be a little bit heavier than the HLR, but it's still a phenomenal shaft. So the way that Easton makes their arrows, they claim it to be spine, or that there's not a spine in it by the way that it's designed and made. I've really enjoyed shooting these, and that's why I'm going to be using them this year. Next up, almost everybody's favorite for a long time, the RIP TKO. So the RIP TKO was pretty much replaced by the HLR. It's still a phenomenal shaft. Probably it's the #1 recommended shaft by me by far. It may change depending on the experience with a different arrow. The last arrow I'll show you, but this arrow right here, anytime someone asks me what shaft and they're unsure, RIP TKO. It's just a very solid. It has a 3K weave, so rather than the HLR that has a 1.5, this one's going to be a lot wider, and it's just a different weave on it. The tighter the weave, I do believe, makes it stronger, but these are super strong arrows. It's hard for me to get away from them, but I really do like the RIP TKO. Depending on when you buy them, or what stock your shop has, or wherever you're ordering it from has, it'll either come with this style of half out, or it's going to come with the same one that the Victory HLR comes with, that 50 grain stainless steel. This is a 50 grain aluminum, so if you already have your bow set up for a RIP TKO and you end up getting some more and they come with that, the HLR version, it should be pretty close to the same. You might have to do a little bit of tuning and different things of that sort, but for the most part, your arrow weight should stay the same and you should be ready to rock either way. RIP TKO, it's gonna, like I said, 50 grain aluminum or 50 grain stainless steel, depending on which one you go with or what stock they have at that time. If it's older stock, it's gonna come with this aluminum. If it's newer stock, it's gonna come with stainless steel. It's going to come with an AAE IP5 knock, and then at a 250 spine, you're looking at 8.9 grains per inch, 300 spine, 8.8 grains per inch, and a 350, 8.7. So it is going to be a heavier 5 mil than the HLR, than the Easton 5.0. But, like I said, it's foolproof. This is a great shaft. There's nothing wrong with it. Honestly, unless you just want to go to the HLR, or you want to lose a little bit of weight to gain some speed, I don't know if I could recommend even moving on from the RIP to go to an HLR. But phenomenal shaft. I've ran them. I have my dad running these, and it's been great. Very tough arrow. Last but not least, and this is one of their older arrows, so it's within their older company. They're renamed now, but it's a company used to be called Mamba, and now they're called Kuhle. I believe I said that right. But this is the Angulabi. Now, the rage of the light GPI, this shaft's been out, I believe, for about 2 years. And it is lighter than all of those. Absolutely lighter. It's at a 300 spine on this, you're at 8.0. 8.0. So super light grain per inch GPI on this arrow. Like I said, it is going to be called Kuhle. This is one of their older shafts. Mamba is what they used to be called. I actually got a chance to talk to the owner of Kuhle, and phenomenal guy. I mean, just very informative, helped me through everything, and just really great ran company from what experiences I've had with them. So these ones are they have two options now. Before they used to only have one, but now they have two. For a two-piece, so you're gonna have an insert, basically like a half out, and then a collar, or a sleeve as they call it. So whenever you run their two-piece system at 300 and below GPI, you're gonna have a 50 grain half out, and then the collar or slash sleeve is gonna be 15 grains. So total up front without a point is going to run you about 65 grains on the end. Now they also have a lighter option, which is a one piece, and that one piece is going to weigh about, let's just make sure, 38 grains. So you could run 38 grains up front or 65. Now once you get past that 300 and you're going to 350 and higher in the spines, the only thing that's really going to change is on the two-piece, the collar slash sleeve is going to go up about 3 grains, and it's going to be 18. And then on the one-piece system, it's going to go up 2 grains and be 40 grains. So you're going to have two different options with this system, which it's a really, really cool system. The insert, the half out, is steel. The collar is aluminum. But the great thing is, if you don't have to run those. You can run something if you want to, like podium or whatever you want on that. Now they are a little heavier than all of them. Well, not heavier than the Easton 5.0, but at a 250 spine you're at 9 grains per inch, and at 350 you're at 7.5, and once again 300 you're at 8. So it's lighter than the HLR, it's lighter than the RIP TKO, it's lighter than the Easton, and this thing's been around for a while. This is also a woven shaft. And I believe in one of my last videos, I stated that these shafts were made by Victory. Whenever I spoke with the owner, I found out that this is his. This isn't Victory making it, he's making it, and this is his design. And it has proven to be very tough, but great shaft. I have my brother-in-law using these right now. This is why it's cut shorter. This isn't how they come. I have this one cut, but great arrow. Now I will say with all of these, except the Mamba slash Kuhle, is you're going to get different options for straightness. So like with Easton, you're going to get either their standard or match. With the RIP TKO, we'll just put RIP TKO or HLR, you're going to get the Elite, the Sport, or the Gamer, which is 1 plus or minus 001, plus or minus 003, plus or minus 004. Or 006, I believe. I've spun these, had pretty good, they weighed out consistently, they spun great, and their inserts weighed very, very close to each other. Now, with this arrow, and maybe one of their 4mm options that they have, I may run them. I'm not sure yet. I'm still debating on if I want to change my tune this close to season. But it has been a very, sorry, my paper floated away. It's been super cool. I think it's an awesome company, especially for the money that you're paying for them. That one's going to be just straight 003 plus or minus on straightness. But like I said, I've spun them and they've done great. Most people have to cut them anyways. So I did do a little bit of math using the Podium Archery FOC calculator, and I'll go over that with you. So I just used a 300 spine, blazer vanes, 100 grain point, and whatever they come with the factory for insert options. I didn't get wild with it, and I did it at 28 inches. I feel like that's a pretty average arrow length. So the HLR, you're going to come in at about 403 grains at 16.34, 16.34% FOC. So really, really good FOC on there. The RIP TKO it's gonna be at 423 grains at 15.61% FOC. So still a great FOC. It's about 20 grains heavier, but if you're into that weight, that's generally what I run for anything bigger than mule deer, then that's a great option. The Kuhle with the 2-piece is going to be at 416 grains and 17.61% FOC. Now, if you throw a 125 on there, you're going to be way up in the FOC range. Kuhle with the 1-piece system, you're going to be at 391 grains and 15.66% GPI. So very light. It's probably going to be cooking depending on, if you got a slower bow, I think the Mamba would be a great option. I even think, all of these would be great options to get a little bit more speed out of your bow just because of the light GPIs. Easton 5.0 with the hit insert, you're going to be at around 397 grains at 14.89% FOC. So still right there between that 14-16% FOC, still great. The 5.0 with their 1-piece half out, you're going to be at 412 grains at 16.02% FOC. Now, granted, this is all just calculated on a calculator. It could be different for your situation, obviously, depending on your arrow weights or arrow length and what you decide to do on the front end of that arrow. That'll differentiate what you're going to have. The HLR, I'll go over price per shaft. I just went on Lancaster's, looked at what prices, divided it by 12. This isn't including tax, this isn't including shipping. It's just what they're listed on there for. So the HLR, you're looking at about $19.58 per shaft. The RIP TKO, you're looking at $18.74 per shaft. The Easton 5.0, you're looking at $17.08 per shaft. And then the Kuhle, the cheapest of them all, is $16.67 per shaft. So I believe all of them are pretty close to the same. So I don't think that you're going to really get, you're not going to go wrong with any shaft that you choose. I would choose the one that fits you best. Personally, I'll be running the Easton 5.0, but I don't have an issue really with any of these arrows. I will probably, just from talking with Kuhle Archery, I'll probably be using them because I really like their message. The owner was great. I like what they're coming out with, especially the light GPI arrows. It's something that I think everyone should look at and give them a shot, give them a call, talk to them, see what it's all about. Very, very cool company. All of them make great arrows. Like I said, I'll be using the Easton 5.0 with the hit insert, 100 grain point, Evolution broadhead. With the Mamba, I'll probably be using the 1-piece system and put more with my point weight with the 125 or something with that 1-piece system with both of their shafts. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it really kind of, if you're on the edge of either one of them, don't really know which way to go with it, then definitely something to look at. I hope you enjoyed it in the sense of it gave you some good information, and I really hope you go in and check out Kuhle Archery. Like I said, I talked to him. Bo Davenport is the owner, and he's done a phenomenal job, I think, with his message and the arrows he's producing out of that company. So once again, if you have any questions, anything, you can comment below. And if you could like it, subscribe. That'd be great too. Y'all guys have a great day.